What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming back to you again with a preview of the State of Wrestling podcast. I'm a co-host over on the Spaz Phoenix podcast YouTube channel, and him and I have been doing this podcast for, nearly a decade now, if not longer. I started as his NXT guy, and we branched out into other discussions from there. We cover everything wrestling. This week's episode goes on about what's in the box. And is MMA good now? We've got, NXT's dickhead faction talk and so much more. But I want to bring you a special little clip from the beginning of the podcast where Spaz and I discuss the Elimination Chamber, the poor build, and how it's an afterthought this year. So check it out, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to the Spaz Phoenix YouTube channel for all of our future podcasts together. Stay sexy.
What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. This is the State of Wrestling, and that is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, my buddy, my pal, Baz? Sir, you and I have had quite the wrestling week, if I must say so myself. Ooh. Last year at this time, Elimination Chamber was booked to be, and I know, it's the biggest show of the year. It's only, February.
Chamber in the Dome.
Yeah, it was in Toronto, and you were there in the Dome, and it was great. Here's the thing: that was one of the biggest shows they had last year, and this year it's barely a footnote in their in their road to WrestleMania. It's a foregone conclusion if I've seen one, and the Chamber for the last several years has offered hope and speculation and this thing called build. This year, the Chamber feels very flat, and I want to be excited. I want to be in the WrestleMania season, and they're working against us so hard, no?
I love when we disagree. I think it's fantastic. I think this show was made for me. I'm not going to dive into this too much because we're going to dive deeper into the way I think this show is made for me when we do the preview. So I'm going to keep my thoughts kind of brief on this.
As expected, but we got to keep teasing them for the future, sir.
How long have we been saying they need to push Balor? How long have we said Balor needs to be taken seriously? I'm a Punk guy. I'm an AJ Lee guy. I love the fact that at this point, it feels like AJ Lee rubs people the wrong way more than Punk does.
Right?
Becky Lynch is fantastic, and some people are in denial.
And so is therapy. Therapy's fantastic.
Fantastic. I also like the people that we've got in the Chamber so far. Interesting addition this week of Javon Evans. And Javon Evans has bigger Kevin Nash size problems to deal with. But
I think Javon was like an anti-addition just because they didn't want to put Gunther in there. So they kind of locked themselves into a corner in the Chamber.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of the Chamber qualifiers. And this is where I guess I'm more into the matches that we're getting than the Chamber matches. So far, but the Chamber matches are still intriguing to me. And they're giving us a lot of triple threat matches where anybody can win and nobody can afford to lose. Like when you had Jacob and Cody and Sammy in there, anybody could go in, nobody could afford to lose. Everybody was going to get hit hard by a loss, and two of them were going to lose.
Yeah.
The same in a very different way, and it molds how the Chamber is going to be creatively. The Chamber is different with Dominic Mysterio in it. The Chamber is really different with Gunther in it, and the Chamber becomes, I don't want to say more lighthearted, but the energy,
the frenetic pace,
I want to say the charisma of the match, if that makes sense.
I know what you're getting at. Yes,
brings at this point. Yeah,
it takes it not to be less credible
around like somebody would say.
Yes,
but you know what though? Like it's like the Rumble and it literally serves the same purpose as the Rumble.
That it does
in a much smaller way. It is the silver medal pay-per-view before WrestleMania. If Rumble's gold, then Chamber is silver because the gold gets to choose what title they go for, and the silver gets to go for the other one.
Yeah.
So Chamber is never going to get over that feeling of being the consolation prize. But again, I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing.
No, I just hate the consolation prize that has been Balor, this whole booking, because as much as I need them to push him, for me, for everybody, for all of Balor Club, We've waited so long.
I have conspiracy theories that I am saving till next week.
Yeah, we'll get into our ultimate preview that you and I will have on the way to Elimination Chamber. I'm just bothered because of ticket sales. It all comes down to yield ticket sales, and they were worried that they're not selling enough to go ahead and meet the demand of last year and exceed it. So they needed a marquee match. They needed a main event. They needed that John Cena Cody. So they announced Roman versus Punk, which is a big match, which is a good decision, which I'm all fine for. Whatever, we'll discuss it. But
I still stick to the fact that I'm glad they tore the bandage off early, and I still stick to the same logic that I had before when you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. There's people that are going to feel a certain way about Roman being there. There's people that are going to feel a certain way about Punk being there, mostly AEW fans. There's people that are going to feel a certain way about that match, and they're going to get all the gripes and grumbles out of their system because we ripped the Band-Aid back off in January. It would have been a lot worse, in my opinion, if they had dragged it out and then did it. Like, this is what it is.
Perhaps.
Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, I'm not bothered that it's Roman. I'm bothered that they couldn't have waited till the infamous 29th of February that doesn't exist this year and go ahead and then announce it, because it just, now Balor is a foregone conclusion here.
Well, the other thing is
upsetting.
too, and it's a much more minor criticism, but it is a criticism that I would throw at them if they did it. You can't sell Elimination. Okay, you can. Don't get me wrong. Elimination Chamber sells itself. It's like the Rumble in that way. But from a logical point of view, you can't sell me on an Elimination Chamber match if I don't know what they're fighting for. And they can't be finding out what they're fighting for that night.
Yeah.
So it is a balancing act, because they've thrown Chamber in there, because they have 2 titles on the men's side, 2 titles on the women's side, and they have to do this 2-part storytelling thing to get to WrestleMania. You can't really hold off too far anyway. I mean, even the one we don't know with Liv Morgan, we pretty much know.
We pretty much know, but and I wish that they didn't have to, though. Like, why do they feel they need to pull the trigger? Of all things, like Mania, I know that they just had an all-hands-on-deck meeting. They got everybody together that's not in creative to come into creative, all heads of departments and whatnot, to say, hey, what are your ideas?
People are butthurt that it's in Vegas again. And unless where was it supposed to be before they moved it back to Vegas?
New Orleans.
Okay, unless you live in New Orleans, you were traveling for WrestleMania.
Yes.
I know it sucks. I know it's tedious changing travel plans and whatever, but it's done. It's been done for a while.
For over a year,
At this point, I'm saying get the fuck over it.
Absolutely. My
God,
issue with them...
Can you believe the price of WrestleMania? Can you believe the price of anything?
Yes. I'm not traveling, obviously. I'm not going to Mania. I can't afford a Tic Tac package, never mind going to wrestling. I, on the other hand, though, would love to go, but here's the thing. All that, super pricey discussion aside, them repeating the market is a bad idea because you're ruining the market. What the people that went and spent an exorbitant amount of money that are local, that aren't traveling to be there, right? What is the drive for them to go again this year? That's kind of been an issue. It's like it's Mania Part 2. It's not. There's
and the ones
nothing.
that thought they were getting, I'm not saying this to you, but I'm rolling my eyes at these people.
Yes.
The ones that thought they were getting WrestleMania got, I think they're getting a Money in the Bank instead. Yeah. Okay.
Still fun, but they can, if they were going to travel to New Orleans, they can travel to Vegas. My worry is unless they're not letting anybody watch it at the bars. Yeah, exactly. And even still, it's a ridiculous conversation because they're not letting people in bars watch it. We discussed that before. Like everything TKO is doing.
That part's fucking ridiculous. But here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
You thought you were getting WrestleMania. You're not getting WrestleMania. Immediately, they came back and said, we're going to give you Money in the Bank instead, which, yes, is a lesser pay-per-view, right?
But we just talked about it a
second ago. You, I know you've made it into a joke for a long time because I was there, whatever. What was the whole thing about me putting the Chamber in the Dome and going back to the Sky Dome in Toronto and all that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I was celebrating 23 years.
Exactly. Your first show.
I was celebrating 23 years since Toronto has had a sniff at WrestleMania. New Orleans has had 2. in the past, what, 10 years ish?
Yeah, 30.
My math might be a little bit off. Like
36.
it'll come around again. Like
no, not 36, 30, 37,
like
37, right? No, that was the pirate one. Whatever, they had one of them.
But it was also 30.
34.
It wasn't 30 was not the
30
Daniel
was
Bryan?
down in Daniel Bryan. It was the Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
It was New Orleans. And then he had 34 was also the other one, I'm pretty sure. So
okay, so 2 in the span of less than 10 years. I've been waiting 23. You'll excuse me if my heart doesn't break. Yes, disappointment is a thing.
yeah, the
But unless you live in
Mercedes-Benz
New Orleans,
Superdome.
unless you live in I'm sorry, especially if you were coming from another country, and it's awesome that people come from other countries to see WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. And that might not be happening this year. And I get that because of, all
prices
the
and
things
whatnot.
going on. The IC title, it's very icy. And so many issues ongoing. It's like, damn,
But let's not,
the World
Cup. But let's not pretend they didn't do 8 straight SummerSlams in the Staples Center.
Thank you. So that was my other point. Like, yes, as much as it hurts the market, WrestleMania is not about locals going. It's about travel.
I know that.
It's a spectacle.
I know that breaks the heart of the people that live in whatever city, but it's not about you. You could drop a WrestleMania in a city and nobody from that city could go and you would still fill a stadium.
Yes, you nailed it.
And especially if nobody in the city is buying those tickets, they just gradually drop the prices. I think you
Which
guys
is
just
already
had
happening. They've dropped them down a bit.
Yeah. You guys just had President's Day. We up here just had Family Day in Canada. Belated Happy Family Day to all the fellow Canadians out there listening.
So much better than Happy President's Day. I prefer Family Day.
Our buddy KJ over there on the Wrestling for Life channel is a fellow Canucker. So, but yeah. So over the course of that weekend, they're like, 25% off and whatever. And you know what? Like everybody said for years, like WWE doesn't need to make money. They've got enough money. Cool. Here's the thing. Especially if you're an AEW fan, if AEW or if WWE suddenly goes into like 2027 and just cuts all their prices in half for a year, AEW never sells a ticket again.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. And I am going to be that guy that says, what about? Funny that people are mad about
You're so right.
WrestleMania.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on your last point. Jesus, you're right. Isn't that pathetic?
But they have the ability to do it, and they have the ability to do that because they've got like a bazillion years of success over the Little Mud Show. But here's the thing, and here's where I want to point out a little bit more hypocrisy. I'm not even onto my first topic yet. This is amazing. Everybody's rabid and riled about 2 straight years in Vegas. Oh my God, 2 straight years in Vegas. Oh my God, those spoiled people.
Because they're selfish. They wanted it closer to them or in the only one I would have sold for was it being over the pond.
Okay, please. Okay, you're touching on my point. Tell me how
Trying to set you up.
we are not seeing the same sort of rabble rousing and blah 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 for the 3rd All In at Wembley.
I don't know, and that's exactly what I was going to bring up.
You do know.
Well, we do know logically, but yes, and that's what bothered me about this. Oh, I love our conversations,
and you know what pisses me off too.
You know what
pisses me off too. They're doing a pay-per-view in Toronto, and they're gonna hold Edge's retirement over my head, and they're gonna get another ticket out of me, even though Tony Khan can fuck off. Yeah,
he's gonna retire.
Retire twice in the same city.
Yes,
but no, I get where you're coming from on Elimination Chamber to bring it back around a little bit.
Yeah.
I just happen to be on the other side of it because they maybe aren't doing as much as they should, but everything they're doing right now ticks my boxes.
Yeah. And I can see that. And it's not like, oh, you're just easier to please. It's like, no, it's more on the level.
No, it's just literally the specific people that I want to get respected and pushed after like however many years are actually getting respected and pushed. I've got theory. I've got all kinds of theories on the Finn Balor CM Punk thing that we're going to get into next week. Cheap plug. But
that's not cheap. That's rich, and that is thick.
Yeah,
I can't wait.